Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and welcome to the Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 3, both Episode 6 and Episode 7 preview video. We, of course, are going to be discussing and talking about just about everything that we know about both of these episodes. That's right, it's going to be a 2-episode release for this week, as well as everything that I'm anticipating, and a couple of theories sprinkled throughout the video as well, so stay tuned for that. Of course, we're going to go ahead and hop right on into it. Before we do, though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. Of course, I'll have a review video here on the channel for both of these episodes shortly after the episodes are out on Disney Plus, of course, so it's all the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. In this video, we are going to be taking a quick read from dorksideoftheforce.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. I absolutely love their articles. Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 3 Episode 6 is going to be titled Infiltration, is a part of the first 2-episode release for this week. One of the 2 episodes that we're going to be receiving on Disney Plus for this week for The Bad Batch. The other episode being Episode 7 we'll discuss in just a moment. And you know, when they drop 2 episodes at the same time, you know it's going to be a big week for The Bad Batch. Things are ramping up from the last couple of episodes for Clone Force 99, with the return of their squad mate Echo, as well as Crosshair back into the mix of the group, and the episode titled The Return, Episode 5. You can also check out our review video here on the channel about that episode now. The stage is now set to figure out how they find the secret base of Mount Tantiss and free all of the clones trapped inside there by the villainous Dr. Royce Hemlock, and really the entirety of the Empire. Also do take into consideration and note that not every single clone is locked up there, of course, in Mount Tantiss. Like, they're sprinkled all throughout the galaxy at this point. There's a big majority, though, however, of clones that are being held captive at this planet of wherever Mount Tantiss is, this Imperial base. They don't necessarily realize it, but they definitely don't want to go back to Mount Tantiss, especially with Omega in hand, especially given how Episode 3 had concluded of this season, where the Empire figures out that Omega is capable of an M count, a midichlorian count, of where she is the proper specimen, essentially, to use for Palpatine's experiment of transporting clones and, like, force sensitivity, essentially. In other words, and non-confusion, Omega is technically Force-sensitive. This long Force kind of sensitive theory amongst the fans, amongst the community for the past 3 years almost at this point. Each season, it's kind of always been brought up somewhere amongst the fans, and now it seems to finally have been confirmed. I'll discuss more on this in a separate future video here on the channel. Again, it's all the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. The stage is now set to figure out how they find the secret base completely of Mount Tantiss and are going to be able to free the clones that are trapped there by Dr. Hemlock, as well as the rest of the Empire. From the initial Season 3 trailer itself, we know Captain Rex will eventually be showing up, so perhaps this would be Rex's big entry into the show with Season 3, along with the other clones that we've seen in the show so far, like Gregor and Commander Hauser, who were all with Rex in last season, Season 2, a part of this new kind of clone rebel pocket, essentially. A rebellion pocket is kind of what the rebellion is at this point in time. Like, they're all against the Empire, but they aren't necessarily working together. We see this more and more throughout the Andor show in live action in its first season, and probably it also unfold more in Season 2 as well. We'll just have to wait and see how that kind of unfolds, though, however. Like, you have all these different rebel pockets, essentially, though, however, of where they're all going against the Empire, but they aren't necessarily working together. We don't really see them work together until around the time of Rogue One or the original trilogy with A New Hope officially. However, seeing more of these rebellious clones in The Bad Batch Season 3 as well, especially, I think would be a prime thing to do. Commander Wolf as well was also in the trailer too, so perhaps this could be where we'll finally see how he left the Empire to join Rex, as we see in the Star Wars Rebels animated show somewhere along in these next couple of episodes. We'll have to simply wait and see to find out, though, however. Discussing more about Episode 7, though, however, instead of just Episode 6, because as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is a dual release week for The Bad Batch Season 3. We're getting both 2 new episodes, Episode 6 and Episode 7. As Episode 6 is titled Infiltration, Episode 7 is going to be titled Extraction. So they're getting in somewhere, and they're going to be getting out, hopefully, in the next episode. It's the second episode dropping this week, Episode 7, titled Extraction, which is going to act as this mid-season point for Season 3. I know, it's crazy. We're already at, like, that mid-season point of the third and final season of The Bad Batch. Whenever 2 episodes are released together, though, however, for Star Wars TV, it seems, you know it's going to be a big deal. following in the footsteps of episode 6, Infiltration. The first half of the third and final season of the show has been quite stellar. All killer, no filler, in other words. The pieces of the previous 2 seasons, along with the groundwork for the world building, character-driven stories, and the narrative, are all coming together, it finally seems. All of those quote-unquote filler episodes that the fans have complained about for the last 2 seasons now seem to really be coming to fruition and are playing some type of role within the story now. And as I had also mentioned, knowing that fan-favorite characters like Asajj Ventress, Captain Rex, the ad bounty hunters Fennec Shand and Cad Bane, Commander Cody, and as well as Commander Wolf 2, all of these are still looming characters within the horizon that are bound to appear in the next couple of episodes. The show is truly going out on a bang. Each episode adds a new piece to the puzzle as Clone Force 99 tries to find and free the other clones that have been captured on Mount Tantiss by the villainous Dr. Royce Hemlock, as well as the rest of the Empire, who is now trying to figure out how to make somehow Palpatine return happen that we see later down in the sequel trilogy. Like, essentially everything that the Empire and Dr. Hemlock are doing right now in the Bad Batch show has everything to do with all of the different cloning experiments that we see throughout the sequel trilogy and with Palpatine's return. The key to that has to be Omega, as it was revealed finally in episode 3 of season 3 of The Bad Batch that she is technically Force sensitive, confirming that Star Wars community fan theory out there that is Omega Force sensitive. In other words, as I had mentioned, technically she is Force sensitive. As my own personal thoughts and opinions, as an overall own personal theory that I have for these 2 episodes, we're really going to see more onto the Empire. Like, Dr. Hemlock is going all out now, and that's how we're going to see bounty hunters like Cad Bane and Fennec Shand show up throughout the show, as well as possibly Asajj Ventress as well. Like, she has this whole other arc that they need to kind of dive deep into and explain how she also returns because of the Dark Disciple novel. That's where she kind of meets her demise, and I think the main thing about that is the fact that I think she can definitely survive a lightning bolt hit. We've seen it plenty of times with both Anakin and Obi-Wan throughout Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and the Clone Wars animated show itself as well. What they need to explain for Asajj Ventress' return is the fact that she was buried into the ground. Like, how is she going to unbury herself, essentially, or be resurrected, is something that they really need to explain. However, I do have a fan theory that Asajj Ventress, when she comes back, is that she is going to actually be hired for work, essentially working as a bounty hunter, kind of very similar to how we see her working in the Clone Wars animated show as well, and that she's going to be hired from the Empire and to work and go find Omega, essentially, for Hemlock. The same thing could apply for Boba Fett. I always have my hope for Boba Fett appearing in the Bad Batch. I have for the last 3 years at this point. Come on, season 3, let's make it happen. I would love to see something like that. Anyway, guys, of course, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. What are you guys all thinking for this mid-season point of season 3 of The Bad Batch, these 2-episode premiere for tomorrow? I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.